Many thanks again for staying with us on the show, TMI. Lovely Monday morning on the ITV network. We get started with a discussion segment. The EDO 2024 is up with all the interest and intrigues going on. That's expected for any major election like a governorship election. As they say, the onus is on the political parties to ensure they field a candidate that is popular, has the capacity, has the knowledge, has the understanding, has the networks, and perhaps has the finance and the relationship to be able to drive the party to victory. So in today's conversation, we're looking at the issue of how we can engender intra-party democracy as far as the primaries for EDO 2024 is concerned, because a whole lot is happening already in the build-up to the election on the part of the PDP, on the part of the APC, on the part of the Labour Party. That's normal because everybody has one interest or the other to protect. Somehow, it is the one that is able to galvanize all the different interests that perhaps will carry the day. Let me welcome our panelist here. Harrison Izeko Comrade is a member of the Oredo Legislative Assembly and is one of our guests here today. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, Mr. Duke. Good morning, viewers.
We also have here former Vice Chairman, EDO local government, is a chieftain of the APC. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We also have with us here Bob Manuel Umoro, as a member of the PDP and is also a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, let me start with you, Bob. It's always very many times you see that all the issues that heralds a party primaries comes to a head in the primaries and then after the primaries. What do you make of some of the undercurrents going on across board in all the political parties in the build-up to the party primaries, which of course is just going to start from the 23rd, onward, 16th onward, just like that for different political parties?
Well, the present political scenario that we are having now, that is leading to the build-up, or that the build-up to the 2024 gubernatorial election is such that is expected.
Okay.
But again, there are things you must put into consideration. Just like the ongoing AFCON, don't underrate anything. So also in this political dispensation, don't underrate any political party, don't underrate any candidate. Now, let's go to the issue in PDP. For a very long time, we've had protracted crisis. And then those crises, you remember we discussed them last year, they were not properly looked into and not put square pegs in the right holes. And of course, you saw the aftermath of that election. Okay. That for the first time in 24 years of PDP, plus this year 25, we lost woefully because there were agitations within. And once internal agitations are not properly addressed, yes, you may call it personal interest, you may call it group interest. That is what politics is about. It's about harmonizing and aggregating interests. And when that is poorly done, you are going to have the other side of it, like we did last year. Now, it's now on the political parties to either do the game according to the rules, that is, the stated rules in their constitutions, or do it the way you think is normal, that let the winners have it or interest have it all. Then you understand that in politics there is no definite winner and there is no definite loser.
Okay, Desmond, let's lap up on this line of thought. Yes.
What is important is adhering to the rules of the games.
Okay.
The constitution of our land, the constitution, 1999 constitution as amended, created room for internal democracy, section 221 to 229, provided that in the build-up to train up a candidate for an election, you must adhere strictly to the internal mechanism, a semblance of true democracy. You are coming as a political party to dish out democracy, the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And you are not professing and practicing democracy internally. How dare you tell the public that the party is good to govern a state or a nation, as the case may be? Now, intra-party democracy is a process or a structure designed to ensuring that the selection of candidates and the membership are carried along in a fair and just manner, ensuring that nobody is kept aside by way of using surreptitious moves or whatever scheming to push them aside.
Okay.
And once you do that, after the primaries, those who are minority that are allowed to have their say, we key into those who are majority now, who won the majority, that eventually become the candidate that had their way.
Okay.
And there will be a united party going to an election.
Yeah.
But once some people are shortchanged, the processes are not fair, it's not transparent, it's skewed in a way that favor one particular aspirant, and at the end of the day, you see pockets of skirmishes, rancor, and implosion. And that will not be healthy for the party going to an election, and it will not be healthy to the entire polity.
Okay.
So, political party being an organization should come to democratically practice that which they profess and preach to the people. Because tell me your friend and I will tell you who you are. So if you are an apostle of democracy and what you are doing, your body language, your activities and every other thing is signaling something else,
yeah,
then how dare you come to the public and ask for their vote? So let charity begins at home.
Fantastic. Comrade Harrison, I just want to get you to lap up on this foundational conversation that we've had as it relates to intra-party democracy.
Well, just to lend my voice with the voice of my brothers this morning. You see, the rules are there. The party has a constitution, and the process that will lead to the emergence of a candidate is spelled out. And what everybody is expected to do is there. But, you know, individual interests most time have a role to play. And even if you have an interest in the constitution of the party and the process, but I want to believe that the process is going to be fair. Our party, PDP, if everybody who have indicated interest to run for the office of the governor, they should be able to tell the party members, those are the delegates, what they want to offer, what they have done before, what is their background, where are they coming from. And in doing all this, the people will not look at these persons and see the person they feel that will be best for the job. You know, it's a pity that only few persons will actually go and vote for these candidates. With the new electoral act now, this 3 adult delegate for each ward will be the one that will determine the fate in our party is concerned.
Okay.
So at that level, most time you might have issue, but I think the party should be able to sit down and see how they can actually get in the right persons who will look at the competence of all the aspirants.
Okay.
Because for me, it is what you want to offer that matters to me. It is your competence that matters to me. It is your integrity, what you have done in the past. Where are you coming from? What have you done? But this attitude of former commissioner, former surveyor, former this, you have been feeding on the resources of this country. You have nothing to offer. So our people should begin to think right now that it is not business as usual. People are suffering. Nigerians are begging to leave.
Now you say
So
if the person is a former commissioner, former House of former. That was an opportunity for them to serve. Why don't you take that as a basis to assess the person's capacity? Person's capacity. Yes.
Is it not in the same country we find ourselves?
Okay.
Are people not the minister for works in this state? Do they have not to get to their villages? So when people come on board and begin to tell you this, you'll be asking yourself some certain questions. You have an opportunity. What did you offer? In that opportunity, what did you do? What are you going to show to the people that when I was there, I did this? There is nothing to talk about.
Okay.
So the party should be very careful. Let them do the right thing. And those who are going to be the delegate, they should not key into money. Let them also do the right thing. And everybody know the right person. if you want to be true to yourself.
Okay.
But the issue of money, that is the problem we find ourselves. So I just pray that they get it right.
All right. I like the fact that everyone here agrees that the party has a constitution, which is in tandem with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
True.
In conducting primaries, for example.
Yes.
But every now and then, we always see these infractions. We always see these crises that rocks the party, whereby this constitution of the party is skewed in a way to favor an individual. This constitution, is it cast in stone? Because I know that even from experience, we've had instances where certain individuals, they just move from party A to party B, they pick the ticket. They move from party B to party C, they pick the ticket. So where is the constitution? Is that part of the constitution? Or is that some sort of a consensus arrangement or an agreement to say, okay, we want to win this election? Because election is about winning, right?
Yes.
So we want to win this election. So we feel this person should be able to give us this mandate. And then on the flip side, if it's turned the other way around, some people begin to react that what's happening? You know, why are we now changing the constitution to favor so person? Whereas in actual fact, you were a beneficiary of such a structure. Let me get your perspectives on this.
Thank you. You see, the new dimension that Nigerian politics is trending to is such that it will create a platform. Tomorrow there will be no mighty, but equals. And that is when we go by the rule. If you check the major agitation across board is let the constitution prevail.
Okay.
My brother was talking just now, moments ago. He mentioned the constitution of the APC. Same here, PDP has, Labour Party has. Now, I want to sincerely state across board, all political parties, in fairness to all of them, every political party in Nigeria have a beautiful constitution, beautifully scripted by good minds. But the problem has never been the constitution, but the execution of what is written in that document.
Okay.
And that is always clashed with personal interest. And let me tell you one of the problems that nobody will want to mention that the constitution is facing is the matter of structure. Now, you are in the party before me. Perhaps you've been a former this or former that, like my brother was saying. And then, you know, it's like a family. You have your children. You have groomed them to a particular ethics in line with the constitution. And then I from nowhere come along, and then I want to like build my own. And in building my own, I need your children to compromise you, to be on my side. And it's at the detriment of the constitution. So rather than do what the constitution is saying, you and I begin on a personal tussle to ensure that whoever has the highest might prevail. Okay. That is what political parties don't tell you. The constitution has never been faulty. Executing the constitution is the issue. And that brings us to system. And if at party level you cannot execute what your constitution is saying, you cannot follow it to the latter, it becomes an issue following that of the national constitution, which is the grand norms that keep us together as a people. And that is why we think that system failed in Nigeria. Yes, system failed because there are no persons to ensure that the dictate of the law. In the time of President Yar'Adua, we said the rule of law must prevail. And actually it prevailed. Yeah. But along the line, it nosedived again because nobody to sustain it. Why? Personal issues begin to come on board. And because you want to maintain relevance, you don't want to step on toes, you don't want to dig holes for anybody, eventually you fall into it. That is what has been the crux of the matter. That nobody wants to bend his or her personal ego for the constitution. Now, my brother was saying some minutes ago that former this, former that. If you go to multinationals today, everybody asks for experience. They don't just bring somebody from primary school to come and sit on the positions where a graduate is supposed to sit. Or a position meant for a professor. You are asking a secondary school graduate to come and man that position. No, that is where experience comes in. It's only in Nigeria that we complain. Now we say we are fashioning our democracy after that of the United States. In United States, if you go to United States, you see senators of 20 years, 30 years. And some have held position over and over again. Why? Because the system is working. What makes the system work? Adherence to the constitution. So back here, in 2024, the only thing that will set the peace in the political realm is that all political actors, whether mighty or not, adhere to the dictate of what the party constitution is saying. I'll give you, for example, if you check most of the political parties, they were decamping, cross-decamping, and all the rest of it. And if you check their constitution, does the constitution accommodate decamping? Yes. Does the constitution also permit for an emergency candidate? Yes and no. No, in the sense that if the state working committee does not agree, or you have a tutor to pen down that the national should release the waiver, it's not possible. And the national cannot just release waiver without involving the neck of the party. And when the neck is involved, the neck will look into the critical matter, consulting back home again where it is coming from, that there should be a waiver. Across board, how many of these things are done? You just see people come in because they are money bags, roll out money, and then ask them their vision. We've had people say, I'm going to build castles in the air, 8 years gone, nothing to show forth, both at different levels of our government. So it is on us now to understand that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. So until we begin to enshrine this in our hearts, and then we have it in our mind to begin to do it, we continue to have this issue. And let me tell you, there will be more court cases than ever. And if you check the 2023 general election, the court cases were unprecedented in our history. And of course, we went to court, and then we came out with the issue of you go court tire, you go bring evidence, you go tire. and it's true. Here is the provision that there are certain evidence that are admissible, and there are certain evidence that are not admissible. Some are videos, you will even bring video where somebody was stabbed, killed at the election board, and the judge will still uphold that vote election there, that result there. Okay. So it's on us, but we have to go back to the crux of the matter. If you think you are a lion, don't forget there are stages lions don't walk on. Lions cannot fly in the air.
We just saw eagles eat up a lion. On Saturday.
And the carcass is yet to be buried.
Absolutely.
So if you now say you are a lion, you have your forest. There are levels you can't get to. Absolutely. In the sky, you won't be there. Absolutely. So this is the game.
All right, let me come to Desmond Ugbo. A major talking point in this election build-up is the issue of consensus. What, in your opinion, will build the best? Because now there's a major challenge across board, the challenge of numerous political aspirants or governorship aspirants. And people have been talking about how do we prune down this number. If we take everybody to the field, it may even create problem. But some say that's undemocratic because it looks like some people somewhere are trying to look for ways to scheme some people out. Let's get your take on this.
Now, firstly, you must determine who are the contenders in an election such as this, and the conditions that necessitate the arrays of contestants, of aspiring aspirants, those who are now coming out to vie for this position, believing that, yes, there is the need for somebody to come out and rescue the state from the political party angle, and that the aspirant, the membership are now coming out to vie for that position. And we now have enough numbers, more than enough, who are coming out to contest for the election. And among the arrays of these contestants, we've seen that some are pretenders, some are contenders, in the sense that some are only asked to come out and polarize the domain of a major contenders. Okay. And it is the handiwork of some of these leaders in the party. And when the chiefs are down, when it comes to collection of forms, you see the pretenders being separated from the major contenders. Okay. And now, in a political contest, especially gubernatorial contest, it is not meant for the boys. You mention competence, mention popularity, mention those with the financial wherewithal to execute the elections. Okay. It is not for people who are making noise. Now, when it comes to the party pegging certain amount of money for the collection of expression of intent and nomination forms, it is one out of the lots to prune the numbers of persons. It's not everybody that can afford such amount of money. For example, I think I learned that the Labour Party were asking aspirants to go for nomination forms with 30 million naira. The PDP 40 million naira. The APC is 50 million naira. The idea behind it is to reduce the numbers. That is one step in pruning, and it's legitimate. Okay. So far, so long it's coming from the party. Okay. But cutting corners, now ignoring the tenets of the party, bypassing the constitution of the party, they lay down rules and regulations to set up a kind of a committee to reduce the numbers without adherence strictly to the constitution of the party. That is where the illegality will set in. And that can snowball into implosion, and you are now talking about crisis, which you cannot control. So why not subjecting all these things to internal democracy, where the rules are laid bare on the table, and asking people, the aspirant, to be subjected to the rules of the game. So now, looking at why should people come out to contest? One, it could be that the current government has failed, that elicited numbers of persons coming out to say, I can do better. It could be that the party is now more viable than ever before. It could be that, yes, they have something upstairs to offer. Talking about experience, it matters. Allowing people to come and learn on the job will set the party and the state backward. Because every discipline on earth have their own terminology. Every field of endeavors have their own ways of doing it. You cannot expect somebody to come from the, let me use the doctor for example now, to come and do well in the law court. It's not done. So the reason why you must learn through the process. Learning through the process, like my brother just said, that it's not about formal this, formal that. How will somebody, a greenhorn, just come to governors and expect to do well when he has not garnered
So are you saying
enough experience?
traditional politicians are better than technocrats when it comes to governance?
See, we have political technocrats. The same way you also have technocrats in different field of endeavors. Being a political technocrat, you are vast with knowledge about governance, cutting across every shades, every sectors of the economy. And you have advisors, you have commissioners who originally should be technocrats themselves. Assembly these technocrats with a view to delivery on your promises is another experience that you need to gather as the chief executive. So when you see somebody from nowhere is being foisted on the people, and the people are trying to resist, you know, when two elephant fights, it is the ground that suffers it.
Let me pause you there, Desmond. Harrison, talk to me about another major talking point in this election, which has to do with endorsement. How does that resonate with you? Is this also part of party constitution and all the political processes involved in an election year like this?
Well, in terms of endorsement, if there's an agreement between the party leaders, they have agreed that they have assessed all the aspirants. Today, they feel that this person, Mr. A, will be the best man for the job, and there's an agreement. You can endorse. It will be illegal for some persons to not say that so person, they want to remove them, they cannot contest for no reason. In fact, for you to even be an aspirant, you must have purchased your form. Every other person that have not bought form, they just showcase interest. They are not aspirants. So everybody that bought form in any political party should be allowed to go to the primaries if they cannot resolve. So they should be allowed to go to free and fair primaries. Whoever that emerge from the primary should be the candidate of the party. Then going to the other side, when my brother is talking about that we don't supposed to come and learn on the job. You see, we cannot continue to deceive ourselves in this country. You can't continue to sacrifice meritocracy in the altar of mediocrity. It does not work. Oshobola came in from civil service. Did he not perform? Did he not work in this state?
Civil service or civil society?
No, it was a public servant, civil servant. As a former national leader. So was he a politician before he became a governor? So does it not mean that you must be a politician? First of all, is politics a profession? It's capital no. It's not a profession. It's an opportunity for you to serve in public office. So what many people begin to think that you must be former this before you can perform in governance? All the former this and former the former. What have they done in this country? What have they done in this state? They can't continue to live like this. This time around, people should begin to look at the competence of every individual who want to come and lead Edo State this time around. We want to see what you have done in the corporate world. We want to see where you are coming from. The office you have held before, we want to see what you have done. Practice makes perfect. If somebody have started from a very low level and they have grown to become a chairman, chief executive of different companies, or as a politician, you have led at the local government. People want to see what you did when you were there. So they are telling us a political technocrat. We want to see those politician technocrats. Let them tell us what they have done in those offices they've held before. Today they do not. To the issue, there is no road. We have 2 ministers of works in that area. They could not fix the road leading to their villages. And these people will still wake up and be telling you, trying to convince you that they have something to offer. We are gradually going beyond that. The last election, when the obedient movement came upon, you saw what happened. Even if the most powerful person wrote for that election, they don't serve as senators, but they will still lose. Because when the people were angered, the people came out with force. They were not bothered whether this human being that was there, they wanted to vote for to make a change. So for me, it pains me when I hear people talk like this. I have resolved, and I'm telling everybody that I care to know, that this time around, we should not allow these same people with this their sweet mouth to come and tell you there is political technocrat, there is this, there is that. We want to see what you are doing.
All right, let's take a short break.
Where you are coming
let's
from.
take a short break.
Let's
take a short break. It's the TMI Monday. We'll be back with you in a moment to conclude this conversation. Stay tuned.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program TMI on the ITV network as we continue our conversation on EDO 2024 party primaries and the need to engender intra-party democracy, what you can call internal democracy, just to ensure that there is a level playing field for all aspirants to achieve their aspiration. But as some say, we really don't have aspirants yet, except for those who have purchased the nomination form. So I'm wondering, what are we going to call this plethora of people with billboards everywhere that have indicated interest for the 2024 governorship election? Let me get back to you, Bob Manuel. Interesting conversation going on as it relates to the primaries. I mean, the election proper. The onus on the political parties to get the very, very best. And people always talk about the issue of, oh, we have these people that just came from nowhere, you know, they are coming into the political space to take over their political position. Oh, this man has been away for such a long time. He doesn't have a house here. He doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. But if a man, like we've seen in other climes, we've seen people who have served in the military, we see people who have served in the corporate world, and they've done extremely well. Isn't it natural that we expect such people to bring such wealth of knowledge, skills, technicalities, capacity, experience to bear in governance? I mean, they say one way of defining madness is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Isn't it about time we start, you know, looking the other way, right, changing our approach to some of these things?
Thank you. And before I answer you, I want to clear some aspects. You know, sometimes we learn every day. I want to distinguish between aspirants and candidates.
Okay.
In candidacy, there are two branches. In aspiring, there is one. I want to be a governor. It's an aspiration. So you are 50, you are 100 in number. All of you are aspirants. Like Mr. Desmond said, the reason they now said, okay, XYZ amount for form is to prone. In proning, those who are able to get the form now become candidates.
Aspirant.
They are not candidates.
Sorry,
They become aspirants.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, establish your point.
Aspiring, I want to.
Yes.
I want a position.
Yes.
Now it's like going for an exam. If you don't register that exam, you are not a candidate.
For that exam.
You now register. You now get the form. You become a candidate. Whether you are 10 per party, 20 per party, as long as you have gotten that form, you are a candidate.
Okay.
Now, after the form, you all go to the primary, well-organized primary, free, fair, credible
Yeah.
primary. It produced just one person. you become the candidate for your party or the flag bearer.
Okay.
So that is what we try to
establish. Okay.
It's just like when you now say there is true federalism or there is federalism. There is no true federalism. Federalism is federalism.
Okay.
So as political scientists, when we have the opportunity, we just try to straighten these facts. Now, in going back to our discussion, we perhaps might just be beating around the same place. Now, there are things we need to understand. The nation is a peculiar nation. Our people have peculiar problems. Our people have peculiar people who they expect this solution from. Now, if I have been in the agricultural firm for 30 years and you vote me in as governor, if I don't have a versatile knowledge, I will succeed in one aspect. That is the agricultural sector, because that is where all my strength lies. I'm in real estate. If you bring me in, if I don't have a versatile knowledge, I don't have the right thing, I will succeed mostly in real estate. And that takes us to where the enlightenment Mr. Desmond was bringing when he said there are political technocrats. Political technocrats are not just that they just come from the blues to become technocrats in that field. He is right. Political technocrat comes in the fact that you've subjected yourself to the principles of the party and the leadership thereof. And by one or two engagements, maybe you've been sent to the House of Assembly, the local government for the first time, you go to reps, you go to other places, you have gathered strong and viable information that is needed for leadership to reposition and position or create and innovate happenings within the state, especially as regards governance. That is where political technocrats come in. Okay. Now, if we now say you've not been to the field, like the peculiarity of issues we are facing in Edo State today, let's go straight to the point. In Labour Party, we have the person of Barrister Akpata. People said he's just coming into politics. Good, he has the money bags. And you know, in politics, let's be sincere to ourselves. There are those who are known over and over again, repeated stomach infrastructure politicians. They know you don't have a chances, but they will tell you, guy, you can build this castle in the air. We have done this before. We have done that before. It's not because they feel they believe in your vision or what you are bringing to the table. No. It's because they know there is a fat pocket that ATM can withdraw one or two from. And that is certain. Now, having said that, we now think those who have been former commissioner, former this, former that, over the years they've gathered experience. Those experiences are needed. Let me give you the issue today in my party. Look at the conditions, the issues that those people are facing. In Central, where we are all shouting, there's no security there. People cannot sleep, two eyes closed. Same thing with Edo North. Why? It shows expertism. Do you have the needed knowledge here? If you don't have the needed knowledge, do you have the requisite humility to say XYZ who are expert in this field should come to play? That is where the political technocrats come in. A political technocrat knows that he doesn't have all solutions to all matters, but he knows the people who have solutions to all matters. And that's one of the inventors was asked. He said, do you have knowledge about it? Do you have knowledge? He said, why do I need knowledge for that when I have money to get the team that will give me the knowledge? So that is where a political technocrat come in. And the issue in our state is peculiar that we cannot just hand over the state to just anybody who just got interested in politics yesterday, and then you think the person will now bring America to Edo State, or bring America to any part of Eastern land, or bring America to any part of Edo land, when we have tried other technocrats who are already in the multinational field. We've tried them in our state, and what we met is colossal failure. You know, one thing I owe myself as a person is I don't want to be too partisanship. I want to be more of a Nigerian than more of being a PDP party member. That is one thing that first, my responsibility to this nation is to look at where there are issues for us to solve them. Now, somebody asked me a question some weeks or days ago, not up to weeks, days ago, and then we were trying to x-ray the happenings in the APC, and I told them, I said, see, there is no Odunga in politics. I said, you see Pastor Sage Izeyamu, he's a seasoned politician. If you want to define technocrat, if you don't call Izeyamu as a technocrat, you don't call Kenny Masago as a technocrat, you can't call Obede Hama as a technocrat, you don't call Clem Agba as a technocrat, then we are joking. And these persons have institutionalized themselves. Indeed. Then you look at Aslam Ojezwa, the former state chairman of the APC. These are men who have traversed the state. They know every community. Now, go to PDP. Now you have a primaries in PDP, and you don't do what is needful.
Yeah.
And somebody like Aslem decide to pull out. Somebody like Jofe decide to pull out. Somebody like Ihamad decide to pull out. How are you going to win the election? Then go back to the APC. You now look at Pastor Izeyamu. You now said Osage Izeyamu. Who is he? You are joking yourself, because you are joking with yourself, because if you want to mention 5 politicians today in Edo State who have institutionalized themselves in the heart of the people, if you take POI out of the equation, you take Riceman out of the equation, you take Ogbedeham out of the equation, you are joking. Because these persons are political institutions. They are technocrats on their own. So if you are not careful with somebody like Izeyamu, you now muzzle trying to feel this is how you are going to do it. You are going to collapse that party. And if you are not careful with somebody like Ogbedeham, who is my own principal, because I have to be sincere with you, who is my own principal, you are also joking with the party. We have tested this thing. See, what you have tested before, and you see that the result is negative. The only option is the negotiation table.
All right, let me push it there. But you know, the interesting thing is that it gives one the impression that, in spite of this knowledge, this experience, these years, donkey years of being in the political terrain, you want to really look at years spent, opportunities given, and impact made. Doesn't that justify the thinking that we need to do things differently going forward? Desmond.
Now, let me tell you, you see, like he has rightly submitted, experience in politics is not a snapping kind of acquisition. It has to be a perennial experience. It has to be your ability to look at the sectorial implications of your action and inactions. For somebody to have come all the way, for example, you have been in the corridor of power, you have tested government, you look at the vantage position he has operated. Is he on an appointive position or on an elective position? If you are on an appointive position, you must deduce the fact that, yes, you are there under the supervision of the chief executive.
Okay.
And it is your lot to do, to ensure that there is, your contribution is positive, to the extent that people will quickly point to it and say, if not you, the government of so and so would have derailed. No government has ever ruled Edo State that we can say it is 100% zero, that has not done well. You look at sectorially, which area Mr. A has done well, which area Mr. B has done well. But you know, we are quick to say, as politicians, that the man did not do anything entirely. But no sane mind will say, Mr. A has not done anything right. I think, to be candid, we need people now, today, to put all that they have garnered in experience to bear in pushing Edo State forward. Not somebody that will come and learn on the job. I repeat, learning on the job is suicidal to the society and the government. Because I think the current deputy governor of the state alluded to the fact that the current governor has come to learn on the job. And that he is offering himself to contest because he has seen that what this man is providing is not what the Edo people needed. That is an attestation that something is wrong somewhere.
No, but that's his perspective, right?
His own.
Yeah.
Subjective, though. From those that are listening to him, we learn one or two things. That actually there is one thing he has seen that made him to make such statement.
Okay.
But going forward, Edo State today needs somebody who has gotten that experience. And what is that experience? The experience to drive the state, the experience to provide what Edo people need, the experience that cut across all the nook and cranny, that when he is on board, he will know the right thing to provide for the right set of people.
Okay. All right, I'll come back to you. Here is the point that I want us to engage, beginning with you. There is always this disconnect between the system, the structure, and those who are called the technocrats. That is, those who perhaps they've made impact in the corporate world and they come into politics and subsequently into governance. What's responsible for this conflagration that we see every now and then between this set of people that is leading to this seeming resistance from the traditional establishment in terms of politics? What's your take, and how do you think we can deal with that issue? Yes, even in your party, that's a major issue that is building here.
Well, let me take it from the point that they ended with, that it will know the right thing to do for certain persons. You see, Godwin Inoraso Obaseki was discovered by Adams Ali Oshomole. Dr. Asu Ighodaro was discovered by Adams Ali Oshomole. Oshomole brought in Ighodaro when he became a governor to come and be in an advisory board. Oshomole also brought in Godwin Obaseki. He saw the competence of these persons in the corporate world, and he needed them to succeed in governance. When you see people say they lead, there are people who do the work, who tell you this is what you need to do. I'm talking Oshomole about describing those persons to Edo State. If when Obaseki was chosen by the same others as Oshomole, if power were to be shifted to ESA, it should have taken action in Ighodaro. Let me come back. The resistance is very clear. You see, Godwin Obaseki is the governor that has been in turbulence since he took over. Because why? He's shifting from that old traditional way of doing things. What the politicians believe that when you become a governor, you need to service our leader. The resources of the state need to be given to politicians. And that is where the man has said no. The fight started. All the fights from APC, the same fight in the PDP. And yet, you can go out and take your statistics. You see the projects, the work the man have done. Let me tell you, after Sani Oshomole performed, he concentrated on roads and red roof during his government. For him, he needed to put the resources in those areas. But when the technocrat took over, Dr. Godwin Obaseki, he moved to every sector in governance. Transportation, he pushed there. You can go to our Central Park. Even before you take over, you can sit there, you'll be inside AC before the bus will fill. He went to the capital and the business area. Go and see Ability Shopping Mall. Go to the Osiobo line. He went to entertainment. Go to Victor Waifo Hall. Go and see where people go there. You can do your record of everything. Every area of development, he begin to push it. Go to agriculture. You can walk to LDP today. Go and see the state of art of what is going on there. You know the number of the companies who are coming to Edo State in oil palm. We just harvested the first fruit from one of the companies. They won't see that because to them they have made up their mind on trying to run down government. You can drive through Ministry of Education when you are coming. That place got fire during the last administration, but just drive through that place. Every aspect of governance have been touched. That is a product of a technocrat. Now we have looked at it very well, and we discover that the people will benefit more if you do not push in a conventional politician. I have told them repeatedly, politics is not a profession, and that's why I don't answer it. It's not a work, it's an opportunity to serve the people. That you are succeeding in the corporate world, is it witchcraft they are doing in politics that you will not be able to perform? There is nothing there. I have been in government. I'm a two-times councillor. They like deceiving themselves. Even in my place where I work, they know me. I am not a conventional politician. I have just myself as a comrade. I am not going there that you should give me money. In month end, I take my small salary, I go, and I do what I feel is right for the people. For me, I have access all the three parties. Everybody that has declared intention to run in Edo State, I have access them. And I have drawn my line. I have aligned myself in my spirit and my asshole.
Okay, now, but I don't want us to start campaigning on the probabilities. Yes.
Excuse me.
No, hold on.
Mentioning
yes.
For me, I believe that the man is the best for this job.
Okay,
all right. A man who is
Harrison. Can you pause for a moment? Just pause for a moment. I want us to try and focus on the issue so that we don't derail.
No, and
then we disfocus our audience. Let's try and stay focused on the issues. Remember, our start-off point was and is still intra-party democracy,
yes.
Particularly as it relates to party primaries. That's going to be a major issue in the days to come.
Of course.
All the undercurrents, all the build-up that we're seeing will manifest on that day. What's your level of assessment in terms of the engagement by these aspirants so far with the delegates? And what is your assessment of the feedback from the delegates in terms of response to all of those people that are coming to meet them? In any case, maybe before the primaries, more and more people are going to join in the race, in a sense. Give me your take, Bob Manuel.
Thank you, sir. You see, I would not want to beat around the bush. Edo State has never been this blessed by human resources, especially on the political field.
Okay.
Across party, I have extolled every one of them. If you go by their CV, by their fields of life, you put it in tandem with their CV, you will know that these persons who are aspiring and those who have already become candidates, they are one of the best minds that you can hand over any part of the society, Edo society for. But again, there is a lacuna. And the lacuna is this: having a CV to say that you are qualified for a job is different from when you have the requisite knowledge, the requisite experience that is needed for you to trade with the people as far as governance is concerned. Now, I have, by close range, I have friends in the Labour, in the APC, in the PDP, across board, because that is what is expected of every politician. And then we interact very well. Sometimes they come for advice, and I say, okay, if you do X, Y, Z, you will be able to
do this.
And I tell them, I say, when you are engaging with the delegates, because if the delegates are not the money-conscious delegates, if they are the civilized delegates we expect them to be, there should be more of what your manifesto, your programs for the state is about. And if we have to be sincere, if you ask people what's the most important aspect of governance, they will tell you it's economy, it's X, Y, Z. The foremost responsibility of any government is security. So once an aspirant is coming to you, a candidate is coming to you, he must first be able to put on board what is going to do to secure lives and properties, because it's on security that every other thing is crested upon. So when you are now engaging, they beautifully engage with the people, tell them what it is. But most of what I've seen is XYZ running down XYZ. But I have been in some of them. My friends send videos to me, and a lot of them on my phone. Where I said, no. Go and tell this person to face the issues. So in the delegates now, many of the people don't even know that the delegates, if any mistake they make, is as good as you have marred the whole process. Okay. So in telling the delegate, tell the delegates what you want to do, because they are not representing themselves. They are representing a cross-section of people per ward, across the 192 wards. That's why we have, like in the PDP, the constitution is, if you have 3 persons, 1 must be a female. So you must also, as you are addressing those issues, you must also be able to tell the woman what you are going to do for her block. And I keep telling people, we know we are in an ICT world, but don't go and give them a skyscraping idea that this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. The delegate could relate. The tomato woman in Ekiosa, in Auchi, in other markets, would they be able to relate? How does it transform to economic empowerment to them? These are the things that you bring in. So to say, the aspirant or the candidate, so to say, in their engagement with the people, I don't have anything across board. I don't have anything against them. Okay. I've seen most of their manifesto. Virtually, there is no aspirant that I don't have his manifesto. Okay. I'm used to the simple agenda. I'm used to Obede Hamas, this thing, Paris, Asma Godalo. I've seen all of them beautiful. But then that is where the question comes in. I still hammer on experience. Okay, so experience should distinguish all of these people. Experience should distinguish them. Fantastic. And the experience I am talking about is not that, for example, I told you before, I'm into real estate and agriculture. But there are certain crops in the agricultural sector that I don't dive into. Okay, let me pause you there. So, Desmond, quickly talk to us about.
Now, talking about, we're talking about consensus. Mm-hmm. Will it be possible in some political party? I doubt. With the numbers of aspirants, yes, never. I doubt. They should go to the field. Yes. They should go to the field. But going to the field, there are different modes of primaries that the different political parties have adopted. Like in APC, we've adopted the direct primaries, where all card carrying members will go and vote for their choice candidate. And in that will lead to democratizing intra-party politics, where all card members will participate in the choice of whoever emerges as their flag bearer. Now, talking about those who are good, like PDP, who are going to subject their membership, haven't seen how divided they are now, asking them to go into delegate congress, because naturally or constitutionally, it is going to be conducted by the National Working Committee in a manner that it will be devoid of some interference from within the party at home.
Okay.
But that is not to say that whoever is going to interfere will not do so through the instrumentality of government.
Okay.
But however, in APC, for example, we mentioned about those who are prepared. How prepared are they? There are aspirants today, not to talk about the aspiring aspirant who could not pick form. Today is 29 and they could not pick form, so it elapsed today. So those who eventually make the list by way of picking form,
yes,
they are the aspirants we have today. We have 11 of them. And especially those who've known their antecedents.
Okay.
Excepting maybe today, more will go and pick, but I doubt. Because some of them went into aspiring when they don't even have 400,000 in their bank account. They were being sponsored by somebody to be a rabble rouser to the polity. But however, we know that among the lots, among the 11 of them we have today, we know that which has distinguished himself, haven't come all the way, has a clear-cut manifesto that cut across
gone through the ranks.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think talking about security, my friend talked about securing lives and property. That is the topmost priority of a chief executive. If you have a clear-cut plans on how to secure lives and property, every other things will fall in place. And that is what the major contender in APC has come to bring to the table.
Okay.
And you know, for some of them who are afraid of some regular faces, because the regular face in question now have not been able to come to the limelight to execute that which he has been hammering on. He has been telling the people, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. Nigeria is still lamenting today of how they could not realize Awolowo, how laudable his plans were, but they could not, because perhaps the man talks senses to people and even address people, even those who are trying to be smarter.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, they could not allow the man to be. But in Edo State, I'm very sure that this year
will be a different year.
A different year.
All right,
and that man will come.
Let's pause it there. Give me your final take on this. Yeah, as we call it.
I want to appreciate my co-discussant because what they have said is that experience
is the key. Is the key.
Competence.
Experience. Yes.
For this election.
Okay.
So I want the Edo people, the delegates, should look at these persons who have indicated interest and actually see the man who have experience, the man who have competence, the man who have capacity, the man who have actually led from zero and become head in the corporate world. That is the direction.
Okay.
And to also appeal to members of PDP, like my brother who is the principal Bedeyama, that they should come together and resolve the in-house crisis. So that
do you see that? Do you see that happening?
Yes, it's very possible if we don't want to be greedy. Okay. First of all, whether they have a section in this state who have not produced a government.
Okay.
So every right-thinking human being should
take in that line. Okay.
And also because let's speak for equity. When they were fighting for Tinubu, everybody said that we are being marginalized. Power must come to South. So let us practicalize it now. So that we know that we are fair to ourselves. Lastly, in the issue of security, my brother talked about it just now. You have forgotten that security is the federal government. You first of all talk to the Mr. President to build on the security of this country. It's worst.
Why is the government collecting security votes?
If the federal government, your president collect $1 trillion more than that.
What is he using his own for?
State is one of the most secure
states.
State is one of the most secure states. I'm telling you now.
These guys on the air. Take them off the air. Take them off the air.
The government is there collecting hundreds and trillions of annually.
Come to me now. Come to me now. Take these guys on the air. All right, guys. All right, that's okay. That's our package for today on this segment of the show, TMI. Desmond and Harrison, they want to take us to where we don't know, but we know agree. We'll have this conversation again, and then we can look at some of the things that you guys are trying to emphasize in the course of this conversation. That's how it's supposed to be. No hard feelings. Politics is not a do or die affair. It's not a war. It's a contestation. Yes. Those who have better argument, better manifesto, have the capacity, have the ability, have the knowledge, have the experience, have the technical know-how, should be able to have the opportunity to serve and make a difference. Whether the traditional politicians or the political technocrats or the corporate technocrat, and they're in politics, we all have the same interest to serve the people and make life better. So the onus is on the delegates to do the best, give us the very best. If you don't, we will teach you a lesson at the election proper with our votes.